I want to ask you, first of all, about the news overnight that the suspended Labour MP, Zara Sultana, has announced that she is going to co-lead a new political party with Jeremy Corbyn. Is that something the Liberal Democrats will be concerned about?
Look, I think it's had a bit of a chaotic start with, I think, Jeremy Corbyn saying he wasn't even sure that it was supposed to be launched or not being consulted on it. But look, today is the 1 year anniversary since the general election last year, when we got our best ever general election result ever in the history of the party. We've had some fantastic local results in the local elections in May. We're now ahead of the Conservatives in terms of the number of local councils that we run, and that puts us on course to overtake the Conservatives at the next general election. So we're feeling pretty chipper and pretty confident about the months and years ahead.
Well, yes, you did have your best ever general election result, but you did do that partly because you gained some disaffected Labour voters. They've now potentially got a new home to go to. That's why I'm wondering whether the Liberal Democrats have cause to be concerned about a new party on the left.
Well, what's interesting is we are now entering a new era of multi-party politics, I think, but we still have a first past the post voting system where every single vote doesn't always count. And what we have managed to demonstrate is that we do have broad appeal in many places around the country, particularly in the southwest, but also places like Shropshire and Cumbria and many other places across Scotland as well. The fact of the matter is that there are many lifelong Conservative voters who were sick to death of the last Conservative government, who were prepared to vote for the Liberal Democrats and now are still voting for us in local elections, and many Labour voters are voting for us still. What I hear on the doorsteps in areas where we have Liberal Democrat MPs is just how impressed former Labour and former Conservative voters are that their Liberal Democrat MP is a really hard-working local champion.
You oppose the government's welfare reforms, which went through this week, but only after the government backtracked on key elements of it. The cost of that backtracking is a £5 billion hole in the finances. Does it look now that tax rises are the most likely option, do you think, to fill that hole?
Well, first of all, let me just say that that bill was a complete and utter mess. There was no impact assessment, no consultation with the people who would be affected, the disabled people and their carers. There are other ways of bringing down the welfare bill. And I think we do all accept we have to bring the welfare bill down. There are other ways of doing that, whether that's investing to save in our NHS and care or making sure that people's money goes further. So I'm glad the government did pull out the worst bits of it, but there's still quite a long way to go to make it a workable bill. In terms of what happens in the budget in the autumn, well, these are decisions for the government, but we have said repeatedly as a party that we Liberal Democrats think the government should be going for growth. One way to grow the pie is to actually have a much better, closer trading relationship with Europe that would raise the billions of pounds that we need to help put public services back on their feet. And the other thing is that if the government is looking to raise taxes, well, we would encourage them to look first of all at raising taxes on the really, really big corporates that have raised billions of pounds in profits, whether that's the big banks, the big tech giants, the big gambling and gaming companies, before looking to household finances, which are already incredibly stretched.